should start with the NFL because, Brett, even though neither of us are on the Thursday night game, it is a Super Bowl rematch a few years later and a few different players later, but one quarterback still remains, and that's Matt Ryan, who still receives a lot of the jokes of that 28-3 scenario.
Yeah, I guess, I hadn't even thought of that, Higgins. But I will say this, everyone thinks Atlanta stinks right now, so I expect money to be coming in on New England. Although these Oregon lines, Higgins, am I seeing -7 plus 100? So maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe the money in Oregon's coming in on Atlanta.
Yeah, it's sitting at a touchdown line with the Patriots favored by -7 at minus or plus 100. And I don't know. I'm intrigued by it. I might find myself betting here in Oregon on Thursday for this game. Find myself maybe fading New England because remember, I sold my Bill Belichick Coach of the Year. Am I salty about that after he got some big wins and people are now saying New England's back? Maybe. Maybe I'm a little salty, so maybe I'm just a Patriots hater and don't listen to me, but I don't know. I think that this might be a meaningful game for one quarterback, and for the other, he doesn't know what he's necessarily walking into.
Well, I guess it's possible, but I cannot say I think this is a Super Bowl revenge game in whatever week 11 of the regular season.
Absolutely, I am probably just insane. Let's move on to Sunday's games, Brett, and talk about Washington at the Panthers. This is Ron Rivera returning to Carolina. Cam Newton recently returned to Carolina. Now, who's going to be starting for the Panthers? We're still not sure. But the line in Oregon is sitting at +3.5. When we talk about those key numbers being +3 or at that 7 mark. And I'm going to take this line with the hook. I'm going to take Washington at +3.5 because I do think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be back and forth. And I'm not bought and sold on a Carolina wave that just crept up with the Cam Newton hype after he came back last week.
Yeah, Higgins, here's a fun fact for you. Taylor Heineke at one point backed up Cam Newton in Carolina. So, interesting game here. Ron Rivera, obviously the head coach in Washington now, was Cam's coach during that MVP season. So, I don't know. I'm staying away from this one because I would not want to be going against the Cam Newton home return game for the Panthers against the former coach, the former backup. That just seems like a spot I want to avoid.
There's a lot of emotions in this game for sure. There's a lot of emotions going on in this one. It's going to be fun to watch, I think. It's going to be a good early slate game. Brett, you're on another game that I was very tempted. I looked at that line close, but I decided to stay away. I couldn't bring myself to it.
Yeah, 49ers at Jaguars, Higgins. This one's going to be ugly. 49ers traveling west to east. Jaguars, not a great team. 49ers coming off a huge win against the LA Rams on Sunday Night Football, Higgins. That was a big game for the 49ers there. And look, this just feels like a letdown spot. 6 points is a lot. 49ers probably escaped this one with a W, but look, we saw the Jaguars beat up on the Buffalo Bill. Not really beat up. It was 9-6. That was an awful game too. So we saw the Jaguars beat the Bills, so we've seen them sneak up on some teams here, Higgins. So I guess I just believe they keep this one within one touchdown here.
Going into Monday, San Francisco was 2-6 against the spread. Now they obviously covered the spread in a game that they were an underdog and won outright on Monday, so now they're 3-6. But let's not say an individual game is going to mark a trend against the spread. The trend was that they haven't been good against it. I like you picking it. I was personally holding off to see, because I'm on the West Coast, if more money floods onto that Niners line, and I might be able to get it over a touchdown, because I could see that happening over here in Oregon. Maybe not there in New Jersey, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think 49ers probably a more public team than Jacksonville for sure. So maybe you could get it across the country there.
That's fair. That is fair. Another NFC West and West Coast matchup that I like, Brett, is the Cardinals versus the Seahawks. A bird game. Gotta love a bird game in the NFL, right?
Bird game, absolutely. Well, you get this matchup twice a year, dude.
Yes, you do get this matchup twice a year, and this one's closer to my neck of the woods. It's in Seattle, which is closer than Arizona, but not by much. I mean, it is still like 8 hours away from where I live in Oregon. But Arizona's minus 130 because they're still not quite sure who's going to actually be playing in that Cardinals offense yet. Is it going to be Kyler Murray? Is it going to be DeAndre Hopkins? Is it only going to be one of them? Is it going to be both of them? Is it going to be neither of them? I think they both return. And I'm going to take money line at minus 130 while it's still early, because while they're listed as questionable and while there's some probability or possibilities of and rumors that they're going to come back, there's no definitive talk out of Arizona yet. So I'm taking the money line before it becomes definitive. Before it becomes definitive, because that's going to move it a lot to me.
Yeah, I think it's probably partially baked in here that he's coming back. He seems to be trending in that direction, so maybe it moves a full point, maybe a half point Higgins. But you're right, there will be a little movement once Kyler is officially back. So, look, you think he's coming back? You feel confident in the reporting to this point? Um, and it really isn't reporting, right? He said it. He's like, if I'm good, I'm good. I'm gonna play.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
you feel confident, and Kyler has that kind of say in Arizona. Um, yeah, why not just take it now?
Yep, I'm taking it now. I'm taking the early value because who knows where it's going to be on Sunday. I mean, this is Wednesday night when we're recording after all.
Yeah, I think the reason they're the favorites, right, is because they expect Kyler to play against Russell Wilson. I don't think Russell Wilson would just be a road dog to Colt McCoy.
That's why the line is sitting at minus 2.5. But if you get the definite that both Hopkins and Murray come back, does that jump above the field goal? Maybe. Is it worth another point to get to the 3.5 above the key number? Probably.
Yeah, gonna be close.
Who knows? Well, another game that I like, Brett, is going to be the Dallas Cowboys traveling to Kansas City. Now, this might be a barbecue off in the tailgate, in the parking lots, but on the field, I don't think there's going to be much competition. I think it's going to be Kansas City coming back home and winning by a lot. They got a big win last week. They needed that win, and they're going to come in this week and they're going to beat a Dallas team that they're riding high, to be honest. The Dallas team should be riding high, but coming into Kansas City is going to be a challenge. It's not a game that Dallas is expected to win and to need to win their division. I don't think they're coming out of it, and I think Kansas City is going to cover minus 2.5.
Fair enough, Higgins. If there was a side I was looking anywhere on this, it would be the over 56.5. I just
That's a
expect this
high
one to
over.
be, yeah, this one's going to be a shootout. No, I mean, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
How is this one going to be 17-14?
It's going to be extremely windy and wet, but that's not what the weather
60
looks like, so I don't
degrees.
think that. Yeah, it's
60
60 degrees and
degrees.
partly
Yeah.
cloudy, so I don't expect that to suddenly change. I agree. I think it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a fun game to watch for sure in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's definitely the marquee matchup of the day. No doubt about it. You're right.